Welcome, fabulous fourth grade math students. Here is our third and final lesson, lesson 104, changing improper fractions to whole or mixed numbers. All right, what do I mean about improper fractions? Let's take a look at my board here. I have 5 fractions written up here. This first one, 12 over 4, the next 10 over 3, 9 over 4, 3 over 2, 5 over 5. All of these are considered improper fractions. Why? Because the numerator is greater than or equal to the denominator. 12 is greater than 4, 10 is greater than 3, 9 is greater than 4, 3 is greater than 2, and the last one, 5 over 5, they're equal, but that's still improper because mathematicians like to write their numbers a certain way. And if you have a whole number, don't write it as a fraction. We're going to write it as a whole number. So let's change all these to mixed or whole numbers. And the first one is 12 over 4. And how do I change that? How do I figure out how to write the whole number or the mixed fraction? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide the numerator into, the denominator into the numerator. So I'm going to do 4 into 12. I'm going to divide 4 into 12. We know it goes 3 times. It divides evenly 3 times. Now, this number here at the top is going to tell me how many whole numbers I have. And this right down here at the bottom is going to tell me, it's going to be the numerator of my fraction if I have any left over. So this one I don't have any left over. So I have 3, these are the whole numbers at the top. So I can write this improper fraction as just a whole number, and that whole number is 12 over 4 is equal to 3. I would just write it as 3. We don't like to write it with fractions. Now let's do 10 over 3. I would divide the denominator into the numerator. 3 into the number 10. We know it goes 3 times. 3 times 3 is 9. I subtract. Now, this one has the whole numbers. And this is the leftover, or the numerator of my fraction. So how am I going to write 10 over 3 as a mixed number? Because I can't just write it in as a whole number because I have leftovers. So if you look at it, the top tells me I have 3 whole numbers, and then I have 1 over 3 as the leftover. So that is how you write 10 over 3 as a mixed number. Now let's do 4 over 9, or 9 over 4. I'll divide 4 into 9. We know that goes 2 times. 9 minus 8 is 1. So I have 2 whole numbers with 1 remainder. So I would write 9 over 4 as the 2 whole numbers. My leftover is 1. You see the 1 right there? And this is what I put for the denominator. 2 1/4. Okay. Now let me erase and make some room. Let's do 3 over 2. 3 over 2. I take the denominator and I divide it into the numerator. 2 into 3. We know it goes 1 time, and I have 1 left over. The top number tells me the whole numbers. The remainder tells me the numerator for the fractions, and this number right here is my denominator. When I divide it, up here tells me how many whole numbers I have. If I have a remainder, this is the numerator. And then this is what I use for the denominator. So for 3 halves, I'm going to change it into 1 and 1/2. 1 and 1/2. I get this one from right here. This 1 comes from right here, and the 2 comes from right here. So how would I write that as a picture? I could draw a circle that has halves. So I'd have a hole and then a little bit on the top. And if you notice the improper fraction, if you look at it, how many parts are in the circle? The denominator tells me I have 2 parts, 1 and 2. And then how many am I using? 3. So if I color this top half, maybe if I use a different color. This top half, this blue right here, that's 1/2. The bottom, 2 halves, and then the top would be 3 halves. And the final one is 5/5. Divide the denominator into the numerator. We know that 5 goes into 5 one time with no remainders. So I have, for my fraction, for my whole number, I have 1 with no extras, no remainders. And we know from our previous lesson that if you have the numerator and the denominator are the same, it's written as a 1. It's a whole number. So improper fractions have a numerator that's greater than or equal to the denominator. So all these represent improper fractions. And to change an improper fraction, you're going to change it into one of two things. It's either going to be a whole number, like 5/5 is a whole number, or it's going to be a mixed number, like 3/10 was 3 1/3. And you can draw pictures that help you represent. You can visually see how these are equal. So, I hope you enjoyed your lesson. I know things are different right now, but this isn't forever. And so this will just be a fun way for us to communicate. If you have any questions, send me an email, or your mom and dad can send me a text. Just know that this isn't my favorite way to teach. I love being with you guys and interacting with you and learning new concepts and having fun and joking and enjoying each other's company. So I hope that and pray that your families are doing well, that you guys are doing well, and know that every day that we wake up is a day closer that we get to be in class together again. So I hope you guys have a great night, and I look forward to seeing you on video for the next time, for the next lesson. Have a great day. Take care.